worried about turning in your fair entry forms? Watch this how-to clip on Douglas-Sarpy County Fair entry forms for help. First things first, make sure that you are enrolled in 4-H. This can be done online and the deadline is June 15th. That is extremely important to remember. If you have any questions, please contact Kathy Ranieri at 402-444-7804. Know that you can always call the office for help, or you can reference the UNL extension website. Once you are enrolled in 4-H, you can then begin looking at the different types of entries for your child. There are 3 different categories: exhibit hall entries, livestock entries, and event or contest entries. All of these different entries have different forms that can be found at the 4-H office or on the Douglas-Sarpy County 4-H webpage. Here's a screenshot of the Douglas-Sarpy County Nebraska Extension web page. Up at the top, you can see the URL if you need to find this web page. Over on the right side of your screen is the Douglas-Sarpy 4-H link drop-down box. Also on the page are quick links. Click on County and State Fair. Once clicked on County and State Fair, you can see a schedule of fair events. You can also see the general rules and regulations, and from there you can pick the category of area or project that your child wants to compete in. Make sure that when you are finding projects for your youth to exhibit in, you start with the fair book. Starting with the fair book will make it most easy for your child to enter a different project area, and will also allow them to see all of the requirements for the project so they can place as well as possible and learn as much as possible from their project. We will first begin with an exhibit hall entry. So, from the previous page, when we were looking at the web page, you can click on the foods category. From there, you will find many different pages that look like this. When you are starting with an exhibit hall entry, like I said, start with the fair book. This will make your project the most easiest to complete. Once you've looked at the fair book, you can select a department or project area. This is an example of the food department. Make sure that you have read the requirements for your project when you begin to make it. Fill out an entry sheet. On the following page, you will see an entry sheet and how it should be filled out. The deadline for your project is the check-in day of County Fair, August 2nd. This means that your project needs to be completed and you need to bring your project and your entry form to the static exhibit building at the Sarpy County Fairgrounds. Filling out the entry sheet. When filling out your entry sheet, make sure that you are just paying attention to what is written in the fair book. It is your biggest help. It is where you start and it is where you will finish. It will help you fill out your entry sheet when you are ready to enter the county fair. On your entry sheet, you will be able to see the division name, which in our case we're going to use fast foods. You will see the department letter, which in our case is Department E. You will then see the division number, which is 402, the class number, which is class 1, and then the description will be coffee cake in this example. Not only do you need to pay attention to all of these numbers and names, but you also need to look at the instructions. You need to make sure that when you come to the county fair, you are bringing at least 3/4 of the baked product. If you have any less, you will not be able to enter your project, or if it is entered, it will not be judged up to its full potential. Also, pay attention to see if the classes you are entering in are state fair eligible. This will allow your child to exceed and excel even farther in the 4-H project area. However, if your child is a Clover kid, you do not need to worry about the different division name, department letter, division number, or class number. Just make sure that all Clover Kid entries are entered with Clover Kid, Department C, Division 9, and Class 999, as seen on the entry form. The Clover Kid division allows your kid to make a project and participate and still get the reward of a Clover Kid ribbon without the pressures of being placed. Finally, it is okay if your project idea did not come from the fair book, though it is highly suggested that it does. If it is not from the fair book, it is all right. You can look previously before coming to the fairgrounds to see if you can find an area that it will fit in, and if you are struggling, Make sure you call Kathy Ranieri at the 4-H office or contact anybody as soon as possible so they can help you out. We have covered the exhibit hall entry forms and are now moving on to the livestock entry forms. Again, it is important to make sure that you are enrolled in 4-H, which can be done online and needs to be completed by June 15th. Also, by June 15th, you need to make sure that you have your livestock ID forms completed. The livestock ID forms can be found online at the Douglas-Sarpy County 4-H webpage. These ID forms ensure that your youth or the exhibitor has been working with their livestock from the beginning of the summer and did not just receive their animal before the county fair. The quality assurance will also need to be done before your youth can exhibit their livestock. The quality assurance assures that your youth knows that they are taking care of their animal properly and what needs to be done and why to ensure that the best product or market animal is produced. This can be completed either online for a $5 charge or can be done in person on June 2nd or June 6th. For more questions, contact Monty Stauffer at the 4-H office. The livestock entry forms will then need to be completed and filled out by July 15th. These entry forms are the classes that your child will be competing in at the county fair. Make sure that your animal is properly identified with an ear tag or tattoo. This needs to be done before June 15th when you turn in your ID forms. If you need your animal to be ear tagged or tattooed, contact Monty Stauffer or Brett Kreifels at the 4-H office. All of the ID affidavit sheets and all of the class entry forms can be found on the Douglas-Sarpy County webpage. Here is an example of the County Fair beef entry form. The classes are listed on the back of the form. We're going to fill out a class example for an Angus steer. We're going to start with the division name, which is already filled in as beef. If we look down here, we're entering in class number 900. The class name is steer. In whichever case, whatever breed you are showing, fill in. In this case, we are exhibiting an Angus breed, and the sex is male because we are showing a steer. This is how you complete a beef entry form. For all other livestock, sheep, goats, hogs, make sure that you prepare yourself to fill these out ahead of time and know the correct information if your animal has an ear tag or a tattoo, and know the date of birth of your animal. If you have any questions, contact your extension agent, Monty Stauffer or Brett Kreifels, and turn these in by July 15th. Finally, the last category that you can compete in and enter an entry form is the contest or event entries. For all of these, they have different deadlines, unlike the animal and exhibit hall entries, which stay regularly the same. The contest and event entry deadlines are dependent on each contest. The fashion show, table topper, tractor driving contest, and etc. all have different deadlines, so it is important that you check on the Douglas-Sarpy County webpage at the different deadlines in the calendar, watch your email for the deadlines, and reach out to extension agents to find the deadlines of these contests. Additionally, it is important to make sure that when you are looking into these different contests or events, that you make sure you are not only meeting the deadline, but also the requirements. For example, if you choose to enter the shooting sports contest, there is a set number of meetings that you have to have attended in order to compete at the contest in August. The same may be for all of these other contests, so make sure you are paying attention to the requirements along with the deadline. On the Douglas-Sarpy 4-H webpage, you can click on the contest link to receive a list of all of the different contests along with their deadlines and specific requirements when your child is ready to compete in these different contests. Thank you for listening. I hope you have learned more about the Douglas-Sarpy County Fair entry forms. Don't forget about the deadlines. Deadlines are the most important as they will allow your youth to compete in the contest. There are different deadlines for the contest, livestock, and exhibit hall entries, so make sure that you are planning ahead and keeping all of these dates straight. Also, plan ahead to make sure that your projects have met all of the requirements of the contest and that your youth is prepared to compete. It is important for you to plan ahead and meet these deadlines because extension agents work rather hard to make sure that the contest is ready for your youth to compete in so they can have the best opportunity and experience. If you have any questions, just call. It's better to have called than to have showed up to the contest unprepared or to have missed a deadline. Most importantly, make sure that you and your child are having fun with this experience, and do not forget to make the best better.